Welcome to the Jimbo No Show. It's the first one of, no, not the first one of this year, but the first one of this football season, October the 5th, 2016. Like always, I got Harry Ezell with me.
What's up?
So we've been on a big delay on catching up on football. It's all my fault. Been busy, really busy this last 5 weeks. How you been, Harry?
I've been busy as well, taking life one day at a time. But I'm glad to be here to talk about some football.
Especially this past weekend. We had a lot of close games and a lot of blowouts.
Yeah, a lot of blowouts. So are we starting with college or are we going with the NFL first?
Let's start with college because it go a little bit quicker.
Okay, so speaking of blowouts, I just like to mention that can we please stop saying that Ohio State is a great team?
Thank you.
Because when you blow out somebody 58-0, right?
Rutgers,
yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Rutgers a Big Ten opponent for them?
Yes.
So that's a conference game.
Yes, it was.
And you blow them out 58-0. Like, as a conference game, you're not supposed to have that big of a blowout. You know.
No, you're supposed to have at least a challenge.
At least a challenge. And the same thing can go to Washington State and Stanford. Like Washington beat Stanford. It was like 44-6. Again, that's a conference game in the Pac-12. And it seems like Stanford just wanted to hit the reset button on the PlayStation and start over because nobody for Stanford showed up. And nobody for Rutgers showed up. So,
number five kind of showed up, but everybody else didn't show up.
And Christian McCaffrey?
Yeah.
Oh, man. That dude had no type of stat line. Hey, he is completely out of the Heisman talk because of what Lamar Jackson is doing in Louisville. And we'll get back to that in a minute. But those two games, I'm just really tired of people talking about the Pac-12, the Big Ten, because they usually have one tough game on their schedule, two if they schedule a tough game that's out of conference. And then there's usually one team that just runs those conferences, and goes undefeated in the conference. And then they're in the talks about playing in the national championship game or playing in the playoff game.
I got what division Houston plays for?
Houston is in Conference USA. Yeah.
Can we take them out the top 10, please?
Top 10. Well, this right now for Houston, they're putting together a resume to get on the Pac-12. And I was actually going to mention to that later on in the show. How do you feel about Houston joining the ACC? I know they're not Atlantic Coast by region by far.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, it's just in Texas. We have the furthest away is
Louisville. Yeah.
And Syracuse.
Yeah, but see, New York is still on the Atlantic Coast, though.
Yeah, but if you add one team, you could add another team.
Yeah, and Kentucky, where Louisville plays, they're nowhere. They're not on the Atlantic Coast, but they're still close. A stone throw away. But yeah. Texas is way away from the Atlantic Coast. But right now, because I don't want to see Texas to go to the Big Ten, to go to the Big 12, or to go to the Pac-12, even though for them, their program, they would get a lot of money by joining that big conference. I just want them to actually play quality opponents because I think with the way they're recruiting and the way they're playing right now, you put them in the Pac-12, they'll run that division, and they're pretty much going to eat up a spot for the national playoff game every year. Well, not every year, but they'll be a contender for the playoff game every year. You put them in the Big Ten, the same thing. Their hardest game is either going to be Ohio State or Michigan, depending on which one is good that year.
Or Michigan State.
Yeah, Michigan State is a hit or miss. Michigan State's that team that's going to get you around like 9-3, maybe 8-4. They're not going to be that consistent, 11-win, 10-win season team or run the table.
Yeah, that's true.
So Michigan State is always that scary team. You don't want to play them, but
sometimes you have to.
It's Michigan State. They're that team that just likes to throw salt on people's Cinderella season.
Or get blown out in the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'll be interesting. It'll be very interesting. Well, since we're on the topic of Houston, I would kind of like to see Houston, if they have to choose a division that's not the ACC, I would like to go to the Big 12 and take another team with them, because first of all, there's not even 12 teams in the Big 12, so it would help that out. Like,
how can you call your conference a Big 12 when you get 10 teams?
Yeah, to get your conference back to having 12 teams, and it would also give them a conference play. Conference championship game.
Yep.
So then, you'll have a team coming out of the Big 12, unlike last year, who actually won a conference championship instead of they were co-champions and the other co-champion had to watch from the sideline last year. So, yeah, that will help that out. And so I'll mention South Carolina. South Carolina played Texas A&M. They lost the game, but I will say, in the loss of the game, they looked very much improved. The offense wasn't as anemic as it was in the previous 3 games, and it looked like, especially after the quarterback change, going from the true freshman to Perry Orth, it looked like he was able to drive the ball down the field.
Y'all should start with him to begin with.
After the first game, after the Vanderbilt game, I was thinking, why didn't they just stick with Perry Orth? I don't know what they see in that. What's his name? I forgot his name. I don't know what they see in him, because I totally forgot his name. But he must be more of an athlete than Orth, or he must have a rocket arm that he hasn't shown yet. Because to me, it seems like he has his one progression, and if it's not there, he escapes the pocket. He's not moving off to another progression. He's not checking the ball down or anything. He's
more of a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, he's definitely more of a mobile quarterback. And so, speaking of mobile quarterbacks, that takes me to the Louisville and Clemson game. And I kind of wish we would have done a show last week. That's partially my fault why we didn't do one. But I would have said that defense and whoever wins the turnover battle is going to win this game. And I would have been wrong. I would have been completely wrong, because Deshaun Watson somehow figured out a way to throw 3 interceptions.
One wasn't his fault, though.
Yeah. The tip interception I always hate.
The tip passes, you can't. Yeah. The receiver catches it and catches it and goes in the other person's hand. You can't really fault the quarterback on that.
Yeah, I always hate that stat, that tip passes, balls hit receivers and bounce off of them count as quarterback interceptions. I've always hated that statistic.
But the other 2 definitely was his fault.
Yeah.
Throw the ball early, throw the ball too late.
Wait, Clemson had like 4 or 5 total turnovers that game?
4. We ended up with 4.
Yeah, 4 total turnovers.
One was a fumble.
2. And
They had 3.
Louisville had 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 1 off on each one. And they still, usually when you lose the turnover battle, you lose the football game. The law of averages, the more possessions the other team gets, the more chances they have to score. And so Clemson's defense, stepped up at the end. And then that play at the end of the game on how Louisville didn't convert the 4th down, I'm like, you got to know where the line is as the receiver. You just can't spin out of bounds.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to take that hit inbounds and try to fight through that tackle to make the first down. So kudos to Clemson's defense for coming up in that game and shutting down Lamar Jackson, who is probably the most dynamic quarterback. People are probably going to say that Deshaun Watson now is the front runner for the Heisman Trophy, but I'm still big on the Lamar Jackson train.
Lamar Jackson got it wrapped up already.
Yeah, because the simple fact, if he still goes on the pace that he's going on with scoring touchdowns, whether it's rushing the ball or throwing them, he's close to getting almost 100 touchdowns.
But I don't think he's going to keep up that pace. That's too hard to.
Yeah, that's an astronomical number to get 100 touchdowns in 12 games, 5 touchdowns a game. That's pretty
because he took a pretty good beating in our game.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I think is going to be his downfall is that even though he is a mobile quarterback and likes to run, you can't run between the tackles and be only a $185 and expect to have longevity. I don't care if you're playing college, Pop Warner, high school, whatever. I mean, 12 games, you run between the tackles, you have big guys hitting on you. Your body's going to just take a beating and it's going to slow down naturally.
Yeah, or you might get an injury. You know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah. So currently, right now, unless this Lamar Jackson just, I don't know, writes it in and lollygags the rest of the season and plays double dutch in the pocket instead of playing football, I don't see how he's not hands down the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, nothing to take anything from Deshaun Watson. He played great on Saturday. I mean, he played in the big spotlight, and he shined when you're supposed to shine late in the game. He did something that was kind of odd, though, Jimmy. And I know it's a big tradition in Clemson to run down the hill and touch Howard's rock, but why didn't Deshaun Jackson want to do it?
It was a coach decision because he was captain or something like that. Most of the captains don't run down the hill.
Okay. And big shout out to ESPN because I've never seen it before when they had cameras inside the bus when Clemson takes that ride.
Oh, they did that last year.
They did that last year? I mean,
yeah, one of the games last year, they did that too.
That's kind of intimidating if you're the opposing team. I know, granted, the opposing team doesn't get a chance to see it because they're already on the field and whatnot. But, watching that at home, I'm like, damn. If I'm a Louisville fan right now, I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. What's getting ready to happen? Is this the 300 story? What's going on? So that's kind of intimidating right there.
I think they did it before the Notre Dame game last year.
For the Notre Dame game. Okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and go to Florida State and North Carolina. That big upset right there.
Yeah. So that game to me, I'm still shocked and amazed that Florida State is playing this poorly on offense. And granted, right now, after Louisville put up 60-some-odd points on them.
Yeah.
We know Florida State's defense is in trouble or suspect or needs help. It's in the unlike in professional football. You just can't go out and sign somebody off the street or sign somebody off of somebody else's team to come in and replace the players that aren't getting it done in college. So in college, you're pretty much stuck with what you got, or you can try to pick somebody off of campus and get a walk-on and come in and replace somebody in mid-season. So with that being said, what I'm trying to state is that it's harder for a college defense to improve with new players than it is for a professional team. So with that being said, Florida's offense needs to pick up the slack where the defense is failing. So the offense needs to put up enough points that another team can't come back and win. So why North Carolina was even in this game to begin with,
because
I don't understand.
The first three quarters.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, Dalvin Cook still had over, what was it? I think he had like 140 yards rushing on the game. So he's doing his part with rushing the ball. But then again, you just can't feed Dalvin Cook the whole time because then, 6-8-man box starts to turn into a 10, 11-man box.
You definitely can't run an 11-man box.
Yeah, you can't run an 11-man box. I mean, that's impossible. So they have to figure out the quarterback position, and those receivers have to stop eating hot butter popcorn before football games so they can start catching the ball.
I would have changed it for like fried chicken or something. Come on.
It's like that ball is slipping off of those receiver gloves, and I don't know if you've ever held a pair of receiver gloves. They're damn near Velcro.
No, I've never had one. Never had a pair.
Yeah, they're damn near Velcro. I don't see how they can't catch the ball. So right now, they're probably on the judge machine catching balls right now. Even in their sleep, the coach is firing at them in their bed. Boom, catch them while you're sleeping. They got to do.
They got to do something.
They got to do something with that.
With the defense, they got a freshman quarterback starting.
Yeah, but isn't he a redshirt freshman? Right? He's not a true freshman. So
I think he is a true freshman.
He's a true freshman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're right, because I forgot the dude's name. I know it's the white guy. He was there last year.
The white guy
took over when the other guy got hurt. So yeah, you're right.
He's a true freshman.
Francois is a freshman. Yeah. So I mean, you kind of hate to put a kid on the bench, but you got to figure out either a quarterback change or get some new receivers in there, because Dalvin Cook can't do it by himself.
Something's got to change.
Yeah. It's just uncharacteristic for the State already having 2 losses, and they still have to play Clemson. So, and the way it's already set out is that
they already out of it. The Atlantic Coast, they can't even get into the championship game.
Well, they need help. They need Clemson to lose 1 game, and they need Louisville to lose 2 more games.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to beat Clemson. So the odds are stacked against them.
Yeah.
The odds are stacked against them because at the beginning of the season, looking at their schedule, I looked at it and was like, okay, Louisville's going to be a hard game, and Clemson is there. They might lose that game. They're going to get retribution against Georgia Tech. I believe they have Miami coming into town.
Yes, they do.
This week. So, I think
that
game should be a revenge game or a statement game for them, because Miami is ranked, I believe, in the top 25.
Top 10. They're the 10th.
Top 10. Yeah, top 10 team. So they need that win very bad to make their season relevant right now. So Clemson.
And, Miami's favored by 3 points right now.
And Miami's favored by 3 points. Is it in Miami or is it in?
It's in Miami.
Okay, so yeah.
That's a night game too.
Yeah. So from moving forward, every game is a must-win situation for Florida State. National championship, you're kind of out of that. Will you get a major bowl game?
Yes.
It's still up in the air. And you need a lot of help to get into the ACC tournament. ACC championship. A lot of help.
Let's take a turn to go to Tennessee and Georgia.
Okay, so Tennessee and Georgia might have been the most exciting game that I watched the entire.
I had to agree with that. That was the most exciting game. Got to be on TV.
And living in Atlanta, I was privileged enough to get the South Carolina Texas A&M game on TV, so I was watching both at the same time.
You mean they didn't black it out for y'all?
No, they didn't. They actually broadcast it. I was shocked and surprised. Yeah. So the Tennessee and Georgia game was nearing its conclusion when the South Carolina game was coming on. So all of a sudden, you hear the collective cheers. Ah! And you look up at the score, and you see that Georgia just scored. So you're thinking, oh, man, it's like 19 seconds. Georgia's got this game wrapped up. There's no way Tennessee could come back.
But personal foul.
Yeah.
Taking the helmet off.
I'm like, man, 19 seconds. What? They didn't have any timeouts. All you have to do is kick the ball off, let them get at the 25, play defense, and don't let them get across the 50.
Offside.
What do you do? Personal fouls, roughing the passer.
Offsides.
All of a sudden, they're on the other side 45, and now they have a shot at the end zone. And you're thinking, oh my goodness, is Tennessee about to win another game when they were down by 14 points again, come back, win the game, to lose the game, to win it again? Is this possible?
I would blame Georgia's coach for this. You have a 6'7" guy on the back of the end zone. Now the guy ain't gonna throw the ball to the back of the end zone. It's gonna be mostly at the front of the end zone. Why is he at the back of the end zone?
Yeah, and when you watch the replay and after the statement you just made, when you watch the replay and you look at Georgia's defensive players all standing literally almost out of bounds, you're like, what? They have to catch the ball inbounds to score, right? So in the end zone is only 10 yards. So you start at the front of the goal line. And you play the ball as it's thrown. So, you can go back and retreat. But if you look at that replay, not one Georgia player is in front of that Tennessee player catching the ball. He didn't have to out jump anybody.
Nope.
All he had to do was just watch the people on the side of him when he brought the ball down.
That's it. That's the only thing he did.
I'm like, yo, Kirby Smart, you got to get it together, buddy. You got to get it together because you're not going to make it long in Georgia. Georgia fired Mark Richt, who was perennially winning 10 games every season, every year. Granted, he didn't win out of those 10 games. He wasn't beating the teams that you wanted him to beat, but he was still winning.
He was still putting 10 games winning the season.
Yeah, and that's not including a bowl game, which he was going to every year. And granted, he had a lot of talent came through that you thought you were going to win a national championship with, but it didn't work out. But still, they let him go. So Kirby Smart, Georgia don't play that. So you got to
figure something out quick.
Now. Yeah.
Are you surprised that Les Miles got fired?
No, I'm not. I'm surprised Les Miles was still the head coach to start the season with. I mean, granted, yeah, he won his last game and he had the ceremonial walk off the field. But, with the team that Les Miles has and the talent that he has around him, as in the player-wise, what he's recruited at that system, for him not to be winning 10 games, because what did he go, 9-3 last year?
I think so.
Yeah, and so with him, and I believe that was, because this is his third year of having a terrible offense at LSU. So to me, I was not surprised at all. Like I said, I was surprised he was there at the beginning of the season. Because, he's been there for 12 years. And granted, he brought them a national championship in, 2007. So it's pretty much, you get to the point where the guy who's serving you up enough victories, but he's not winning
the big games
anymore. It's like Tommy Bowden at Clemson, Yeah, he was still winning, but was he winning the games that you wanted him to win?
Nope.
So, the rest is history. You replace him in the middle of the season, you get Dabo Swinney, and basically since this is Dabo's, fourth year?
No.
Fifth year?
Fifth or sixth.
Yeah, so all the Tommy Bowden recruits are long gone now. So those first couple of years was still Tommy Bowden's recruits that he had recruited there still winning games for him. So it's going to be like that in LSU. Whoever they hire at LSU is still going to have a couple Les Miles guys. They're going to have success, and then it's going to be up to the new coach to see if he can recruit and implement a new system.
I wish they would have just let him go at the end of last year, not during the middle of the season.
Oh, well, look. I'll put it to you like this. Les Miles, he's going to be coaching either at AUSC, so either Southern Cal or South Carolina, or he's going to take the job at Louisville when, Bobby Petrino leaves Louisville to go either to Auburn or back to Arkansas. Because you know Bobby Petrino wants back in the SEC back.
He does.
Yeah.
And you know how the y'all head coach, he ain't gonna last too long.
Oh. You see, and that's the thing that sucks is that Muschamp, he's a great defensive coordinator. I just don't think he's head coach material.
Neither did Florida or Auburn.
And it's just so sad because if Les Miles was, like you said, fired last season and he had a job and he's not available, okay, and then Les Miles has a South Carolina job, he probably has 2-3 years to suck it up. But now since Les Miles is available and if Carolina has that 1-11 season and you're the athletic director, do you stick with Will Muschamp, or do you take your chances on a Les Miles who's won a national championship in 10 years?
I'm going to Plan B. I'm jumping ship and going Plan B.
Yeah, so Ray Turner, he's the athletic director of South Carolina. He'll make that decision. He'll make that decision.
All right, let's jump into the NFL.
The NFL. How about those Vikings?
They're doing real well after their starting quarterback go down.
Not just their starting quarterback.
Peterson.
Adrian Peterson goes down as well. And they still are 4-0. If we were doing, what was it, preseason predictions, and you told me that their starting quarterback is done, and Adrian Peterson will only play 2 games this season, where do you pick the Vikings to finish in their division? I would say dead last.
You know that.
Dead last. I mean, like Detroit, the Bears, Green Bay, hands down. Green Bay runs away with that division, and the Vikings don't even matter.
I can't believe that Sam Bradford is doing so well in the Viking system.
Well, look.
No other team he'd been with, he couldn't do nothing.
Okay, so Sam Bradford was a Heisman Trophy winner. Don't forget that.
I know.
And then when Sam Bradford went to St. Louis, okay, he had nobody to protect him. It's kind of hard to play quarterback from your back.
That's true.
And then he went to
the Eagles.
Philadelphia.
Pigeons.
Where he was to Kelly's system, which requires you to be a mobile quarterback. And
he's not. Watching
him play in Oklahoma, that's not Sam Bradford.
No.
So finally, Sam Bradford's playing in Minnesota, where, on paper they had Adrian Peterson. So you were thinking, okay, he has a running game, so he doesn't have to escape the pocket, and he can run the ball. So the defense they can't just pin their ears back and come after him. And then he can stand there and he can deliver the ball like he's used to doing. And then Adrian Peterson goes down and you're thinking, whoa, okay. Now it's going to be different. But still, the offensive line is holding up. And he's getting time to deliver the ball. So Sam Bradford is a good quarterback. He just needed the right system to play.
I was never going to say he sucked. I mean, I knew he was a good quarterback.
Yeah. And let's talk about the other shocking team, the Philadelphia Eagles.
Pigeons?
Or, I'm sorry, the Philadelphia Pigeons, who with a rookie quarterback who's never played in the NFL somehow has his team 3-0. I have nothing else to say because I can't explain it.
I can't explain it. Wentz maybe?
Wentz, yeah. Who somehow it's like one of the highest selling jerseys in the NFL is.
And nobody don't know who he is.
I'm pretty. He went to Northwestern. I'm pretty sure nobody can point to that on the map where that campus is located.
Don't know.
Yeah, nobody knows. People who go to Northwestern don't even know.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Another shocking thing that I want to address is the Saints and the Panthers.
Oh, Panthers.
What's going on? Like, both of those teams are 1-3. Like, first of all, I'm completely shocked that the Panthers are 1-3 after going 15-1.
I am too. I mean, the defense looks kind of suspect, but you only lost one person. How can you not fill that gap?
Well, they lost Josh Norman and they lost Tillman to retirement. So, Tillman was on the downslide, so that means somebody younger should replace. But Josh Norman, is he really that good of a corner that he makes that much of a difference, man? That's what's shocking to me.
I guess he is.
And then having Kelvin Benjamin back and a healthy Jonathan Stewart at the beginning of the season, I was thinking, man, this team is going to be unstoppable.
We got to talk about Cam Newton. What's going on with Cam Newton?
Well, Cam Newton, they need to start throwing some flags, man. Cam Newton's getting beat up.
2 concussions in 3 games?
Yeah. Poor kid is getting just knocked around. Still, because like that first game against the Broncos, when he was laying sprawled out on his hands and knees, you cannot tell me he wasn't concussed. And then this past game,
and he came back out and finished the game.
Yeah, he came back out and finished the game. And then this past game against the Falcons, where whether he laid up going into the end zone or took a play off going into the end zone or pulled up going into the end zone, it's still a game of football, and you need to protect yourself. But still, when there's a blatant helmet-to-helmet hit, and the guy, like, he's falling back, but for somehow decides he's going to force himself to go forward and then just lay there for a little while. I'm like, this guy's concussed. Luckily, that time they pulled him out of the game.
Yeah.
and he wasn't allowed to come back and play and risk further injury. But you got to start throwing some flags here. The argument is that since he's bigger, faster, and stronger than everybody else on the field, you feel as though that he can take it. But you go back to the famous Shaq line, it's like, I bleed too. So, that was Shaq's famous thing for saying, because he's bigger, stronger than everybody out there, doesn't mean that he doesn't bleed like everybody else. So you got to call the game fair both ways.
Yeah, they do. I mean, like the Saints, I don't know what's wrong with the Saints. They let C.J. Spiller go, but they was loaded on running backs, so I understand that reason.
Yeah, the Saints, as dynamic and explosive as their offense is, it's really not the offense's fault. You have to look at the defense. The Saints can't figure out how to stop the ball from crossing the white line. They don't have a problem with it going across it. They just have a problem preventing it from getting across the line. So that's the Saints' problem, is that their defense is trash.
Maybe the head coach need to bring up the targeting whatever that thing he came up with a couple years.
Was that Bountygate? They need to bring back Bountygate.
Give people extra paychecks for knocking people out.
Yeah.
You stop the fall, I'll give you $1,000.
Yeah.
Or go get me the ball, I give you $1,000.
Yeah. But that division currently right now, Tampa Bay, they're 1-3. The Saints 1-3. The Panthers are 1-3. The only team that's doing anything right now are the Falcons. They're 3-1. But let's not forget, last year the Falcons started 5-0 and found some way how to miss the playoffs. So
yeah.
The division is still up for grabs, but right now the Falcons are declared running away. Another shocking team are not the St. Louis Cardinals, but because that's the baseball team. It's the Arizona Cardinals in football, right? They're 1-3, and again,
with Larry Fitzgerald and Carson Palmer.
Yeah, what's his name? Jones is his last name. Is it Michael Jones? David Johnson? Like, they have tremendous talent on offense, and then you look at that defense with Patrick Peterson and the Honey Badger, Tyrone McAnew, playing the corners. They have the defense. They have the offense. Bruce Arrington needs to get it together and get that team back to winning, because the Cardinals last year were fun to watch, to play the game of football.
Right now, they just not too good to look at.
Yeah, it's just too much talent. It's like Dallas in the early 2000s. All this talent, and you can't figure out how to play together. Come on, guys. Get it together.
Dallas is kind of shocking to me. We don't never root for Dallas, but they threw in with a rookie quarterback too.
So here's my problem with Dallas. And you have a rookie quarterback who is clearly the future of your team. Granted, you probably didn't want to do trial by fire to start his career off with, but due to Tony Romo getting injured again, you had to throw him into the fire to see if he could survive. And he came out like a phoenix through ashes, just rose from the fire. And now it's week 4, just passed. You're halfway through the time when Tony Romo was supposed to be due back, and he can now be back as early as week 6. And you have your head coach, Jason Garrett, your owner, Jerry Jones, saying that Tony Romo is still the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. I'm looking at it from the inside out, not the outside in. If I'm a player on that team and we went 3-1 with Dak Prescott, do I want Tony Romo to come in here and mess with what we got going on? No. I mean, right now, the gumbo that we're cooking tastes great. Everybody loves it, and people are enjoying it. Why do I want to add another ingredient to it? It could mess up the whole recipe.
Yes, it can. Or Tony Romo could come back and get re-injured again.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you look at Tony Romo, and you're thinking, this isn't his first back injury that he's had. He's had a disc operated on in his back. So you're starting to think about, will his quality of life be worth it after the game of football, because he keeps on having all these back injuries, Is he still able to throw the ball? Is he still able to move in the pocket? Can he still play the game of football? And if you're looking on the outside in and you're a Dallas Cowboy fan and you know what Tony Romo can do for you, you know what Tony Romo has done for you. In the regular season, let's not mention the playoffs because he hasn't done nothing in the playoffs. So, and you're looking at it like Dak Prescott, he's a rookie. He's won 3 games. He's only played 4 games against real NFL defenses. You don't want to take a chance your whole season on a rookie. I'm just saying, Cowboy fans, really look at this. Tony Romo has led you to the promised land twice, and he's won a playoff game once. So, it's been 13 years. You gotta trim the fat, cut, let it go. Do you want to pay Tony Romo all that money next year to stay on your roster, or do you want to open up some cap space and sign you some more talent?
Sign more talent, easily.
I mean, at some point, you're going to have to get young. You don't want to get young after Dak Prescott fulfills his contract, and then all of a sudden he wants a stupid salary to stay, and you're not willing to pay.
That's true. Or he just leaves in free agency.
Yeah, leaves in free agency. I mean, right now you got Ezekiel Elliott under a rookie contract. You got Dak Prescott under a rookie contract. I'm saying, ride those young stallions for as long as you can, and don't go back to those old bucks. That's all I'm saying. It's plain and simple. And enjoy, because Dallas is winning again.
Have you heard this about Marshawn Lynch practicing with the Seahawks now?
I heard rumors of Marshawn Lynch because he still held his football camp, and there was rumors that he was still staying in shape to make a midseason return. Because, I think what he did to Seattle, I think it needed to be done, because you go back 2 years and you look at that Super Bowl loss that they had at the 2-yard line.
That should have gone to him.
Yeah.
He should just hand the ball off to him. Touchdown.
Yeah. And then, he wanted the new contract, but you already had him on the contract and you didn't want to negotiate because, what's his name? The safety, Cam Chancellor, had just held out, and you renegotiated, gave him a big contract. And I can understand that you don't want to have two. And actually, no, that would have been the third max contract player, because they gave Russell Wilson a max contract when they re-signed him. So I can understand how you don't want to give a running back who's nearing 30 years old a max contract.
But he's a beast, though.
Yeah, he is a beast. So, so instead of him saying, you know what, screw it, I'm going to go play for a lesser team that will pay me that type of money and risk injury, I'll just retire. Barry Sanders did it. Jim Brown did it. Calvin Johnson did it. I have no problem with a player doing that.
But he never announced his retirement, though.
No, yeah, he just didn't show up. So, yeah, it's great. So, hopefully, if they bring him back, or if he does come back, he'll get the money that he wants. Because there was a great article in Sports Illustrated talking about NFL and what players are trying to do. Is that players are trying to get $10 million in the bank. So they still make their contract, they still earn money, they save $10 million in the bank, and then they retire. Because even at a 1% interest, they'll make $1 million just by having $10 million in the bank and not playing a game of football again. So they can retire.
Yeah.
Just $10 million and done. That's the magic number. Well, that's the number stuff. Let's get back to talking the football. And let's talk about two shockers that I didn't think was going to happen. One, the Patriots being 3-1, and the Broncos being 4-0. I didn't think I thought the Patriots were going to go 500, 2-2, Tom Brady come back, and then they go 14-2. That's how I saw that go. I did not see them winning 3 of those games.
I didn't either. I saw them losing at least 2 of them. At least.
I mean, 1-3 more likely, but 3-1, I'm shocked at that.
They just let it goose egg against the Bills. They couldn't do anything against the Bills.
Yeah, well, third-string quarterback who may or may not have had a torn ligament in his thumb, he shouldn't have been out there, in my opinion, playing quarterback, because anybody who's thrown any type of object, whether it's a football, baseball, basketball, softball, any type of thing that you've thrown, what's the one finger that you have to have on that object to throw it?
Your thumb.
Yeah. And if you can't grasp it with your thumb, what can't you do?
You can't throw the ball.
Yeah. So that one loss there, you really don't. I mean, they put up a goose egg, but you really can't put that on the third string quarterback because, he couldn't perform his duties. And Garoppolo, you're trying to figure out why didn't Garoppolo tough it out and play with a sprained shoulder? That's not his throwing shoulder. Why didn't he play with that? You got to think from Jimmy Garoppolo's standpoint right now. What did Matt Castle do when Tom Brady went down?
He played.
He played, and then what happened that next season? He got
Injured.
paid.
Yeah, he got paid.
He got traded to Kansas City, but he got paid, and he got injured, but he got paid, which is the most important thing.
Yeah,
so Garoppolo's thing is that, hey, look, I gave you 2 great games in the NFL. I gave you 4 great preseason games in the NFL. Right now, my resume is looking pretty good that either I can get traded to a team for a lot of money or I can go into free agency next year
and get a lot of money.
Yeah. And get a lot of money. So he was like, you know what? Go ahead, use the third string quarterback. I'm not going to risk the money I'm about to make next year or the year after. His resume is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean.
Yeah, and that takes me to the surprise 4-0 Broncos, which we all knew the Broncos were going to have a great defense, right? The question was going to be their offense. So
most likely the quarterback.
Yeah, most likely the quarterback. So I read a very interesting story that Spiesman, whatever the quarterback's name is, he actually went back and got his real estate license because he didn't think he was going to make the roster.
And that's the easiest license you could get.
Yeah. So literally, this guy had made plans to start selling real estate, got invited to camp, made the team, beat out a guy who's already played in the NFL, and now is the starting quarterback of a 4-0 team. He's hurt now, so we'll see if he'll play in week 5. But I think that's just an amazing story.
He better toughen up. All depends on what kind of injury he has.
Yeah, it just all depends.
I mean, if you have an ACL tour, no, you're not going to play. We all know that. I mean, if you got like a bruised thumb, you better put some ice on that shit and go back in it.
Acid on it and go back out.
Put some dirt on it.
Yeah. So, question: are you surprised that the Browns are 0-4?
No. Not a big shocker there. The only thing I can think of they doing right now is probably going to lose all the games so they get the number 1 pick. I don't know. I seen one guy from the Cleveland Browns have a Watson jersey on already.
Deshaun Watson.
But I don't think that's what they would do. But I mean, I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to fit into the NFL as good as another pocket passer because, I mean, he's not as good as Michael Vick was when Michael Vick was good.
So here's my question to you. Deshaun Watson is a redshirt junior, right?
Yeah.
So
no. He's a junior.
He's a what?
He's a junior.
He's a junior. Oh, that is right. He did play his freshman year because he beat Carolina with that bad knee. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So he technically has 1 more year of eligibility left.
Yeah, technically, but he's graduating in December.
So do you risk getting drafted by the Cleveland Browns or staying in college and playing out your senior year?
Playing out my senior year. But I think he already said that this was his last year.
This is his last year. You know, I mean, that's the beauty of the NFL, man. In college football, is that their seasons run congruently, very closely. So by the time your season ends, you pretty much already know who's going to get that first pick in the NFL draft. And then you have all the way until, what, April? Before you have to declare.
Uh-huh. Dabble, I'm coming back. Tell the other one he's sitting on the bench again for another year.
So you know, do I really want to go play in Cleveland? Or do I want to sit and see what could possibly happen. Or you can do what what's his name? Eli Manning did. You know, the Chargers drafted him. He's like, you know what? No.
I'm not playing for you.
I'm not playing for you.
You could trade me right now. You could draft me, but I'm not playing for you.
Yeah. So, you know, you can run that risk. You can run that risk, you know.
Yeah.
But there's no shockers there that the Browns are 0-0.
Mm.
And the last thing that I want to talk about is how is Ryan Fitzpatrick still starting for the New York Jets? This man's thrown 9 interceptions in 2 games. I could get out there and do that.
We both can go out there and do that.
And I will say that I'm trying.
Coach, I never see him cross through the middle. That's my player. That's what I saw. I can't help he cut in front of the football.
Like, Coach, he's fast out there. He was open, but damn, he's fast. On that edge, he's fast.
No, I don't know. I can't explain that either. I mean, you're a pro. You've been doing this for years, and you already got 9 interceptions in 4 weeks. No,
he has more interceptions than just those 9. He has 9 in 2 games.
Oh no, he on the bench.
That's what I'm talking about. If this was Madden, Gino would already be in the game.
Yes, he would.
That's all I'm saying. Even Madden would automatically substitute him out. That's all I'm saying.
Madden even put him on the practice squad. He wouldn't be on the bench. He'd be cut to the practice squad.
You know, sometimes you spend $12 million the right way, and sometimes you spend $12 million the wrong way.
And they spend the $12 million the wrong way.
The wrong way. Yeah.
So, you want to tell everybody how they can find you and when's your next show going to be on the movies?
Yeah. The next movie blockbuster show is in the works, people. I do want to go ahead and apologize. We have had, me and my co-host Richard Brown, we have had a couple of scheduling conflicts, mostly me, with why we haven't done any shows out there. But I promise to get back to doing it, and I promise to introduce a new show format to help solve some of these scheduling conflicts, because a couple of personal friends have walked up to me and asked, why didn't you review this movie? Why didn't you review this movie? We went to go see it. Why didn't you talk about it? So I promise we're going to have the Blockbuster movie review back on YouTube, streaming live and streaming at your pleasure whenever. If you want to find the channel, you can type in The Mind of Cube into YouTube and we pop right up. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's The Mind of Cube. If you want to follow me on Google+, it's The Mind of Cube. And if you want to find me on the Facebook, it's E-Cubed. I changed it for that one.
But most likely you want to accept friends on Facebook.
No.
Just like I want to accept this random friends on Facebook.
Yeah, no.
All right.
You can't even see what I post because it's only 4 friends. So
if you want to find me on Twitter, it's Jimbo2914. Google Plus is Jimmy Banks II. Facebook, don't even try because you won't get accepted. Until our next show is October the 12th. Peace.
Deuces.